Can't believe I didn't start my recording, number one. That's kind of silly. But anyway, I'm going to just see if I can't. Well, I can't mute the lines. Please mute your lines, guys, if you're listening. That would be helpful. So if you notice here, just my old profile, but it's still it was in compliant at this point for what we're talking about. You'll notice that on here, I've just kind of put a little bit of intro about myself, humanitarian entrepreneur, somebody that loves to go find service projects and opportunities, love learning, I'm a family person, you know, whatever, just however you want to do it. But then down here, you'll see that I actually have no links going to any business. I don't even talk about what I do. I just said I'm an entrepreneur, that type of thing. So don't use your company name. Don't use your replicated website. Make sure your bio is a good intro to your bio, just to who you are. Doesn't have to be real long. It can have some fun emojis in there if you want. Make sure your picture is not of your dog or your horse. I know that you probably have heard that before. That's a big one. People tend to put their dog in there or their cat or something that's really special to them. Now, if you're branding, if that's what you're branding is you and your dog as a pet and wellness type of thing or something like that, that would be different. But this isn't what you're branding. Right now, we're branding you, Victoria, you, Jeffrey, you, John, whoever it is, you, Lisa. We're branding you, not our network. Hopefully this is making sense as we go through this, okay? So let's move on. So the next thing you have to have when you start out, you guys, we've got to start out by being organized. And I like to use this as an example just to show people what I mean by that. If you have an iPhone, this is going to look familiar to you. But if you have an Android, I'm sure you can do something very similar. I'm just not very familiar with the Android. So what I'm talking about is going into your groups, and I would actually recommend highly that you do this, is that by going in here, I've got Rise Up and I've got Our World right here at real quick fingertip punch. So I don't have to go searching for the group. You know, some people get frustrated because they can't find the group, or they have to go search it up in the top and then go that route. It's not always the fastest, quickest, especially if you're going to be on social media and you're going to be getting all these people coming to you. You're going to want to be able to go add, tag, and message people as quick as you possibly can, and just kind of be on your way. And that's the beauty of being able to do this and not have to drive miles, do home meetings, and all these different things. And that's how I've been able to avoid literally driving miles that I did in another venture. And so it's kind of cool. If you would please just mute your lines. I'm just going to see if I can. Allow me to mute everyone. I'll share my screen for a sec, guys. I'm just going to go in there. There we go. All right, guys, if you would please just mute your lines so we don't have to interrupt the presentation for everybody else. So again, just get organized on your phone so it's quick, it's fast, it's, you know, and I'm talking about making sure you have Rise Up. I like to make sure that I have the, you know, Our World in there because I'm going to be able to go add, tag people from there. All right, so let's kind of move on. The next thing is Facebook marketing, and there is a psychology to it. People didn't join Facebook to get sold something. People joined Facebook to make connections, to reconnect with old friends and family and school, you know, friends and things like that. But you can build a business utilizing social media. And most importantly is that, you know, just to understand this, is that nobody gets rich off Facebook by people reaching out to you as an individual. It really comes down to, like, Rob Sperry is a huge influencer. So he can post network marketing, post all he wants out there on Facebook, and nobody cares because they know, and he doesn't care because he's got plenty of people and he's a huge influencer and all that type of stuff. But myself or you or I, whoever, we don't want to do that. So if you look this is somebody that posted our YouTube video of an opportunity out on their regular page and said, hey, check it out. And that's the first no-no, because people run from that because they don't want to be sold anything. And so keep that in mind. This is not called spam. This is called spamming. So we call it spam book, not Facebook, right? So think about why you joined Facebook, and this is where you start to develop your own personal story on Facebook, on how you tell your story and your posting and in the way that you're doing things. And this is going to make more sense in just a second. What not to do. Again, going into our network. Now I picked a couple of product companies, but I'm looking at something specifically here, just as example. This is some sort of weight loss or makeup thing or, whatever. And, when you start flashing products, people know you're trying to sell something. So, and that's going to, again, make more sense here in just a second when we get into this. Here's what it's going to look like, you guys. So first of all, you're going to generate an interested prospect that you're going to then add to the secret Facebook group, which is going to be our world. And you're going to tag them in a pinned announcement. So one of the pinned videos is what you're going to tag them in. And then you're also may tag them in a couple other posts, maybe something that's relevant to what you were inviting them for. So in other words, if it was savings, if it was maybe you save money on your cell phone and you got a bunch of leads off of that, and now you're adding them to learn about the cell phones. We're going to go into Facebook in a second and show you how you can search these different things and be able to add and tag people into that. Then we're going to message them. That's the key. The key is the follow-up, the message behind it, and that is the key to the success of doing what we call ATM, add tag message, okay? And I'm going to stop here in just a second, and we're going to just make sure there's no questions before we go any further, because now I muted everybody. If you're muted and you need to ask a question, you can just unmute yourself in just a second, okay? So let's start off right here. So lots of people have made money on Facebook, and kind of here's how it's done. So first of all, this is kind of something that literally will take you, this looks like a lot, but it's not. It literally will take you maybe 5-10 minutes a day that you could do what I'm going to show you here. So first of all, join Facebook groups that you're interested in. It's really important you start thinking about this. I love photography. I love gardening. I also love to, I'm very interested in plants. It's crazy to think that, but I am. I'm also interested in wildlife and things like that. So what I do is I go out and join groups that I have interest in. And the reason I am joining these groups is that I'm going to go out and start liking and commenting on the post inside those groups. I'm not going to comment about our network. I'm not going to talk about my business. I'm just going to comment about what it is that they posted. I'm going to add value by posting relevant information inside that group if it's a group that allows you to post. In other words, if it's a photography one for me, I've done some really amazing pictures of my kids and some other people, families, weddings, things like that. And I've gone in and actually posted pictures of them and told people this was taken with my Canon Mark V, and it was shot at 1.4 f-stop and whatever, right? And it's relevant to that page. And you guys are like, well, how does this have anything to do with our network? Well, it does. And I promise you it does. And so here's how it works. So after you've done that, and I'm posting some relevant information inside those groups, people start to like my stuff. So they get familiar with who I am. It's kind of like one of those annoying advertisements on television that you see over and over and over again. And that's exactly what we're trying to do in these groups, is go out there and post and comment and like and build relationships. Because remember, all of this doesn't matter if you're not human first. None of this really matters at all until you're a human. So after a few days, you'll start seeing people sending you requests as friends. This is how it works. This is the funneling system of how it's going to work for you to generate a number of leads that are going to start coming in over time. It's not going to happen immediately. You'll see some, but eventually you'll get to a point, like I literally wake up every day today still, and I'll have probably, I don't know, 20, 30, 40, sometimes even 100 requests for being friends. And it's just from different groups that I belong to, right? And so, you have to kind of build those relationships. And as you do, and you start getting these people start requesting you, you're going to start adding 3 to 5 people a day. This is kind of your trigger. Remember, if you're going to run an advertisement for a product, a company that you just started, maybe you started in the McDonald's. I had a Subway franchise. We actually had to participate in the Subway commercials and things like that by a certain percentage of our profits had to go towards that. And I will tell you that I don't know how much I got out of it, to be honest with you. So, but here's the thing, is if I'm going to do that, then I want to make sure that I'm getting as many people, I'm getting the coverage that I want, right? So 3 to 5 people a day will start adding those to your profile, so they start seeing your daily posts, which we're going to get to in just a few minutes. Next is if somebody's here's an example. You request somebody's friendship, here's what I do. Now I connect with everybody through chat. So if I'm requesting their friendship, then I might send them a message that says, "Hey Bob, how are you? Great connecting with you." That's it. That's all I'm going to say. Just start creating a conversation that I can start having with that individual. Now, if the people are reaching out to me to friend me, then I'm going to say, "Hey Mary, it's great connecting with you. What brings you to my Facebook page?" I'm asking questions to get engagement, right? If there's any other small talk made, then it's a good idea to use the voice recorder in the chat on Facebook. And hopefully all of you know where that is, but if you don't know, then on an iPhone on there, and everyone's a little bit different, but there is a little mic that you hold your finger down and you can record a recorded message. And let me tell you why it's imperative. One, you're human, and they can now hear your tonality. They can hear your sincerity. They know who you are just by your voice and how personable you can become. People are attracted to that. It's more human than text and chat back and forth. Now they still might chat back with you like through text, but I like to do the voice record. And it's funny, I had a good friend of mine, John Melton, who's a 7-figure earner. When I first connected with him, I'm sitting there chatting with him through text, and he kept sending me these recordings. I'm like, how in the freak is he doing that? So I couldn't figure out for the life of me. But what was so cool is I could hear his excitement and passion and enthusiasm to connect with me, and it's just so different. So it's such a great tool. I love Facebook for that reason. So number 3, start liking and commenting on different Facebook feeds of these people now you've friended. So for example, if I friended Victoria and I'm following her posts, right? And I'm going to start liking, I'm going to start commenting on her regular profile posts so that I'm starting to make that human relationship connection with Victoria. And by doing that, what's starting to happen is we're starting to get those commonalities going, and it's cool. Like if I see Victoria post a picture and I say, "Gosh, what a beautiful family," or "Man, did you have fun in Hawaii?" or "Wow, what island were you on?" I'm creating that human connection. And if you spent literally 10 to 15 minutes to 20 minutes a day, I was a little more aggressive. I spent an hour a day on Facebook, and this is all I did, is go through comment, communication, build relationships, follow up with people, add, tag, message, just a system, and I just keep it going, right? So now that you've done that, and you've created, and now you've created these 3 to 5 new friends a day, what's going to happen is they're going to start seeing your 80% of your content that is family, friends, humor, motivational, things like that. Now, and then the other posts that you're going to create are 20% content about your business or share a story or something like that. We're going to get to that in just a second, okay? So let's move on. So first of all, 80% of your posts should be non-business related. As I said, lifestyle, motivation, family, etc. Here's a couple of examples. Here's kind of something fun. I just did a little poll, and not even a poll. I just said, describe yourself in 3 words. Well, I had 117 comments on it. That creates an algorithm on Facebook that Facebook loves. Facebook loves emojis. They love contests. They love polls. They love recommendations. They love anything that creates a lot of engagement. That's what they're looking for. And their algorithm will automatically push your posts into areas onto Facebook to show your friends so that your friends are seeing your posts more frequently. So it's really important. And if you're not doing any type of selling, they love that too. So because it's not about selling, all right? But you can make a huge profit on here this way. So it's pretty simple. Here's another one. Where is your dream vacation destination? Well, I had 122 comments, and when I took this picture, I may have more today if I went back and looked at it. Point being is I've got a lot of engagement with it. And these are just simple little posts that you can actually do. You guys have seen, many of you have commented on my own personal posts, and a lot of times it's just a thought, or it's how I'm feeling for the day, or whatever, right? So those are things that you can do also. In fact, I had somebody ask me one time, do you have a photographer that just like follows you around? I'm like, yeah, it's called my phone and a stand that looks like this right here. So I put my phone on it and set it down, take a photo of myself, and my kids think I'm crazy because I'm Mr. Selfie, they call me. But it builds the social media following. My kids actually think that it's kind of funny that. Anyway, that's a whole other story. We won't go in there. But family, motivation, heartwarming stories are really great. Quizzes are good. Shocking and surprise statistics are really good. How-to guides and supportive content. Remember, you're trying to add value to people's lives, right? You're trying to add value. Opinion pieces. Now, I'm going to tell you, do not go down religious or political. If you go down those after building up this nice, beautiful profile, and then you throw on something about Obama, Trump, or whoever, I promise you, people are going to like, whoa, okay, cut off, I'm out. There are some people that love that, but it's usually the negative Nancys that want to have anything to do with that. And I am just telling you guys, I've learned that, in fact, I taught my brother these exact things. I'm going to give you a prime example. We're building it up, and he wrote this amazing, he's actually written 2 books. He's actually an amazing author. He was a professor at a university here in Utah, very educated, and he didn't know anything about Facebook. So I'm teaching him about all this, and he starts doing it. He's doing a great job. In fact, he drives Uber, and he actually wrote a book called Uber Stories, or Uber Blessings, sorry, the blessings of being an Uber driver. And I'm telling you the story because it's really important. He's making all this progress, and he's actually selling his other book, his first book. And his first book's called Not All Roses Bloom at the Same Time. And it was a story of our grandmother that actually told him a story about how roses don't bloom at the same time, Rick. You can't pick your roses when they're not bloomed yet. So anyway, long story short, he's doing great. And then all of a sudden he posts this stuff about Trump and this about that, and, about this, about his church, whatever. And I'm just like, okay, listen, brother. And all he's done now is just hit all these different things like that. And it died off for like a year. He finally now is coming around and rebuilding that I guess, opportunity back for himself. And now that he's written his other book, he has to, if he's going to move it at all. So my point is, you guys, be careful about what you're posting. Don't get involved in those kind of things. And your engagement with your post is really important. And I think the most important thing is when you post something, if somebody comments or likes, actually comments specifically, you want to go in and comment as quick as you can right after that person. I like to give a fist bump. I give some sort of emoji. I thank them. I put a smiley face, whatever. And it sounds ticky-tack, but Facebook loves emojis. And second, they love the engagement. And if you're engaging with the post, now, if you can't get to it because you're at work and you do it later that night, that's okay. It's okay. It'll just push it up later. It's no big deal. It'll start getting the engagement going. You guys see me do that with you guys when you like my comments. Sometimes I'll comment back and say, hey, thanks, and boom, fist. But I'm doing that because I'm trying to push the algorithm, right? That's what I'm changing the algorithm on. Okay, so enough of that. Move on to the 20%. This is where it gets really important, all right, that we don't misunderstand what I'm talking about this. How to transition your social media into business now. Good marketing, I should say, good marketing is stories. Stories sell, I promise you, and that is the bottom line. So when you're sharing info about your products, your service, whatever it is, don't share what the product or service has, what the product service is. Share what the product has done for you. Okay, so when I posted about me saving money on my cell phone, I had a number of comments about it because I didn't say anything about Sprint. I didn't say anything about our mobile. I didn't say anything about my business. I just said, I just saved 300, whatever, 50 bucks or whatever it is off my cell phone bill and got 6 brand new phones. I'm super pumped. And I got all these comments, and those turn into leads. And I'll explain how we do that in just a second. It's very simple. So remember, just share what it's done for you. And so it starts with, and I'm going to kind of back up a little bit. It starts with your personal story. Why are you involved in our network? Think about that. Without naming the name of the company, think about why you're involved and how that can appeal to the public. Okay? And I like to refer to this story. Back in 2008, 2009, we owned a Subway franchises. We had 2 of them actually. And we had, on top of that, a bunch of real estate. I had an incredible job with a timeshare company that I'd been with for almost 15 years. And they started shutting down sales offices. Well, I lost my job. 2009 hit, the financial crisis hit. I couldn't get out of all my flipping houses that I had. And I was in a world of hurt. And so now what I have done on social media is I'm starting to try to create a avatar that I'm looking for. And that avatar is me, the person that's like me. What does that mean? Well, I lost my retirement. I lost my real estate. I destroyed my credit. I had to rebuild my credit up. I mean, it was a devastating thing to happen. And I know I'm not the only one. There's millions of people that deal with the same thing. And to this date, I know people that were with me and in those same categories of things that are still suffering. That they became a victim rather than becoming somebody who's going to change that outcome, right? So why am I telling you this? Because I wanted to create my own personal avatar that I'm looking for when it comes to network marketing. Who am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for the guy or the gal that has lost everything, that financially they feel devastated and they feel victimized. And now I'm trying to pull them out of that victim mentality. I'm also looking for somebody who wants to make additional income because they're trying to supplement their income now to get caught back up and maybe get a retirement again, right? You just start thinking about all those things. And so think about you individually and how you can design your perfect avatar that you're looking for in our network. And I can tell you right now, if you will post accordingly to your story, when you're doing posts, you don't have to do every post this way, but when you post accordingly to your story, meaning like in a product or in a business post things about retirement, post things about, wouldn't it be nice to be able to retire and have some sort of residual or ongoing income that continues to come. I mean, if you're like me, during the financial crisis, and don't kid yourself, public, I'm talking to the public, don't kid yourself, public, it's going to happen again. It happens usually every 10 to 12 years, the financial industry shifts, and it does every single year. And it has, as far as I've ever been alive, I've known there's been some sort of something, either market crashes, the real estate market. This has been, 2009 definitely was devastating. I think that hopefully that will never happen, but there's going to be other things, right? So I guess what I'm saying is when you're posting something about your business, think about it from that perspective of how you found a way to supplement your income. And you're so excited about that. And you've been able to start now supplementing and building up your retirement again, if that was what your avatar is, right? So think about that when you're posting, that you're attracting. Now, if I was a single lady or if I was a single mom or a single lady, I would say, maybe my avatar is looking for single women. Maybe I'm going to try to go out and help single women get to where they want to be, because they all want to be great. They all want to have a way to do it, but sometimes they fall into this victim mentality, and we have to talk to them through our posts. And not just women, men do too. Men and women both fall into that victim mentality. And so we got to talk to them that way. So we got to try to help pull them out of that thinking by our post. And that's when you're adding value to people. And it's not all about our network. I'm sorry, guys, it's not. It's our network is simply the vehicle to help us get that. That's why we're doing that. And so hopefully that's making sense, that you engage with people, you do those kinds of things. and create that opportunity for yourself. I've got one more slide, and then we're going to open up for questions. Now, how do we take these people that have come in as friends, that have, you know, joined my Facebook page and things like that? And did I miss a slide? No, I'm here. This is it. This is the one I needed. Okay. So on here, what you're going to find is, you guys, is I've got a couple of examples here. Okay. So here's an example. Hey, Susan. Now, what happens is I may message somebody that liked a post of mine and commented, right? So likes and comments turn into leads. But remember something. Be human before you're a marketer. So when you, especially if these are just people you've been adding over time, you don't really know them personally, you kind of know them based on what they've been posting. So a lot of times when I start picking out my 4 or 5 people a day that I'm going to ATM, I'm going to go and look at their profile and see what they've been up to lately, if I haven't seen it lately, right? Or if I'm just happen to be on and I see them post something, I'm going to comment, and then they might shoot me a message, say, hey, thanks for that comment, I appreciate it. And you go, oh, hey, no problem, man. I really appreciate it. It really hit home with me, you know, whatever. And then you just go, hey, by the way, have I ever told you what I've been doing, what I'm up to lately? And they're like, no, what are you doing? Oh, well, let me tell you. Boom, boom. And now you go into a little story, your story, as to why you became part of our network. Does that make sense? Now, without naming the name of the company. Now, here's where you say this. Hey, I'm part of a Facebook community that is focused on helping people save money, helping people supplement their income, help people whatever it is, right? This is a positive group that has already over thousands of people in it, and I'm getting a lot out of this community. I'll add you as a personal guest, and I'll follow up with you later. You guys see how that works? I'll follow up with you later. That's key, because now you've told them you're going to follow up with them. And then we're going to come back to that follow-up in just a second. Make sure that you add them to the pinned video that's in our world. That's under the announcements section. There is a pinned video, and it's that gal that's welcoming them to the group. That's where you pin. That's where you first tag your very first thing. Now, people are saying, well, how do I tag? Well, let me show you, because I can edit while I'm doing this screen here. Well, how you tag is very simple. First of all, you got to add them to the group, then go to the post that you want to add and tag them in, and you have to type an @ symbol. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Facebook and do it. How about that? So let's go back, and I'm going to click out of Rise Up. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to stay right here and tag one of you guys in any of these, okay? So I'm just going to tag Victoria just to show you guys how this works. So I'm going to click right here in Announcements. This is in our world. It doesn't have to be, it has to be in our world, not in Rise Up, by the way. You don't add people to this other than your charter members. So come into Announcements. It's got a pinned video. I'm going to click on the comment section. And then down here, it's going to come up. You guys can see my screen, right? Okay. So I'm going to type in the @ symbol. And then I'm going to put Victoria. And there she is. See how it populates her name? So then I grab her name, and it takes the @ symbol out. So that's kind of cool. Then I go ahead and delete out her last name, and I just put a comma. And I go, hey, you know, actually, let me do this for you. I'm going to show you. Let me go back. I'm going to grab, now this is the example of the post. Okay. So I'm going to copy this for just example purposes. I'm going to paste it in here so you can see. So I said, now I've connected you as a guest in this private Facebook community. I love using words like private, exclusive, you know, stuff like that. This is a great place to start. Here, you can learn more about the community and see the success that people are having. Now, if they're about, because I posted something about saving money and they're like interested in saving money, it might say you can take a look around at all the savings that people are having with what we're doing. Does that make sense, you guys? That we're talking about something specific, right? And why people are so excited. So take a look around, and I'll talk to you soon. It's really that simple. So as soon as I'm done, I might even throw an emoji in there, just kind of fun, you know, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, my emoji it like that, right? So there again, I added now Victoria. So now Victoria will get a notification. Now, some people are wondering what happens when I add them to our world and I can't find their name. Well, because that does happen. And so you do have to do it a couple different ways. There, she got the notification. Awesome. So what happens is, guys, if you're doing the @ symbol and you can't, and their name doesn't populate up, then what you have to do is sometimes start with their last name and type their last name in. And then that will help populate it. And you'll usually find it if you just toy around with it. It's a glitch Facebook has, and it just kind of ticks me off, but it is what it is. But here's the thing. If you can't find them for whatever reason, then what I would do is I would go up here in the browser and I would grab the URL specifically and go send it to them in Messenger so that they can just click on it to go right to it. Because a lot of times when you're trying to add somebody to the ATM page, the problem is either they're really busy at the time, they haven't had a chance to accept it, they do have to accept the invitation. But once you can get them to accept it, and you can get them in that group, I'm telling you guys, you know what I love about this? And if you guys will just catch the vision of this, the bigger that group gets, and we start getting to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 people in that group, it becomes a 24/7 commercial for you that is advertising to your prospects if they never converted. I love that. It's like a drip campaign, right? So now they may not always click the notifications they're getting from the page and going into it, but I've found, and I had this happen to me, a year after I was doing all this, I had somebody that I had added to the group, and they started asking questions. A year later in the group, they were asking questions, and they were tagging me to ask the question. And I ended up sponsoring that person. They became one of my top leaders in my last company. And you just never know when that's going to happen. So your job is add 3 to 5 new people a day as friends. Start adding 3 to 5 people as ATM a day out of your friends into the ATM page. And if you're doing it right, you're going to start seeing a lot of things happen. I promise you that, because it just works. And I can't explain it any other way. Okay, so let's pop back over here for just a second, and I'm going to open up for questions. So I want you to understand something. Don't just put their name in the comments. Don't just go, hey, Victoria, that's it. Or Victoria, I'm going to put a little something in there, make it personalized to them, make them feel like you care. Remember, people will only know how much you care if you show them how much you care, all right? So just don't put their first name in there, and then make sure that you can come up with your own script. You can go in and copy what I just did if you want, and kind of tweak it if you want to do that under the one with Victoria there. So just a couple of things like that, you guys can make a big difference, and you'll see, I promise you, if you'll do some of these little things. I just want to recap one thing. Go get your profiles if they're not already. Go get your profiles set up. Organize yourself so that you can have everything organized. And if you're like me, I love iPhone for this, but there's all kinds of other programs out there for even the Android. I actually have a notes section in my phone, and I actually categorize ATM as one of my notes. And in that ATM has those scripts that I just showed you all in my ATM notes file. So I can go in and grab them, and then I tweak them for everybody. So I always tweak them so they're not the same every single time. Because if somebody sees that, 2 people up that I tagged them in as the same script, that's just going to look so retarded. It's not going to look good. So don't do that. Does that make sense to everybody? So get organized in a way that you can do this and spend literally, once you get this kind of moving, and if you want to spend 15, 20, 30 minutes a day or less, you can. And to this day, I do a lot more on social media now than I have because of this position. But prior to that, I was literally spending, like I said, maybe an hour a day. And that was answering questions. That was chatting back and forth to follow up. Now, I mentioned follow up earlier, and I almost forgot to talk about that. And this is the most important part. And I want to show you how this goes. I've got a little slide to kind of show some of how this kind of functions. So if we look at the lifestyle, you're going to get likes and comments. You might private message them and thank them for liking your post. Just thank them. It's a great way to go. It builds relationships. And eventually you're going to message and invite them to do the ATM. Okay? The other side of that is you got 20% business. Again, post business testimonials. You know, maybe somebody saved money on the cell phone and say, hey, I just had a friend saved X amount of dollars on a cell phone bill. That's another post you could do. I'm very excited for him because he's able now to build up his retirement, you know, whatever you want to do there. Get likes and comments. Again, private message them. Add value to them. Always remember, be human before you're a marketer. Do three-way messenger chats with them. You can send content to them. Contents like videos that we have, PDFs that we have. You could add them to a call that we do Monday through Thursday. You can do a three-way messenger chat. And this is my favorite out of all of them. This is my favorite because it becomes human for them. There's that human connection again. And what I mean by that is I might go add Victoria and Kent and Jeff well, I'm sorry. Yeah, let's say these three were all my business partners. And then I added Kristen as my prospect. And I say, Kristen, you know, I wanted to introduce you here. And I'm doing a voice recording. I don't like to do the chat part, but you can do either one. I like to do the voice. And I say, hey, Kristen, hey, Jeff, Kent, Victoria, this is Kristen. Kristen, this is Victoria, Kent, and Jeff. And you do a little introduction, just like a three-way call, okay? And it lasts 60 seconds, the recorder does, just so you know. So you kind of watch it as you're holding it on your finger so you can kind of watch it and know where you're at. But I like to just kind of get in my head what I'm going to say. And all I'm saying is, and by the way, if you do it, it doesn't necessarily, if it does post, you can hit delete and nobody will see it or hear it. So if you make a mistake, you can redo it. So anyway, just introduction, that kind of thing. But more importantly is build up the three of these guys, right, for Kristen, not build up Kristen. Like people tend to build up, hey, this person's really successful and they're just taking a look at our network. No. We don't care how successful they are. It doesn't really matter. You can say, hey, Kristen's a single mom. She's lost her retirement. She's really excited about what we have. And I thought maybe you guys could share some of your vision and your story of why you're involved in our network. It's really that simple. It's not that hard. And if you do this, now here's the cool part. Let's say that Kent's at work and he can't answer right now. That's okay. That's the beauty of this. It's not a three-way call and we have to coordinate everybody's schedules. It's such a pain in the butt. So Kent can come on when he's off work. He's on his way home from work and say, hey, I'm Kent, you know, man, I'm super excited about our network, blah, 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 blah. And by the way, I definitely get back with Dave because he can help you get started right away because this thing is on a train, is moving or whatever, right? Again, you guys, the three of you as my business partners, would do a call to action at the end of your whatever it is, right? Call to action. Jeff might come on right away. Victoria comes on after she's done with her kids or grandkids or whatever, and she does it, right? And like, I love this because anybody can do this. This is duplicatable. This is so duplicatable, you guys, and anybody can do it, and you don't have to feel intimidated because if you don't want to do the voice, you do the text. It's so beautiful. And then the cool part is, let's say that person does not get involved. Let's just say they don't get involved. Kristen decides, nah, I'm not interested, right? Because you're going to follow up individually with Kristen after the fact. So you're going to say, hey, how did you like that? Did you hear Jeff? Did you hear Kent? Did you hear, Victoria? Or, man, doesn't Victoria have an powerful story? Like, whatever, right? And you can do 2 or 3 recordings, guys. Don't be hesitant about that. Like a 2 to 3 minute thing is not going to be a big deal. They'll listen to them, and that's the cool part about it. And I love Messenger because if you guys know this, the little circle right underneath their name, if it populates underneath the post, they saw it. They can't hide from you. You know they saw it, right? You know they saw the post, so it's pretty cool. So it's like they opened it up. You just don't know if they did or didn't open it, but you know they at least saw it. Now, the other thing that's cool about Messenger that I love is it stores it all. So let's say they don't get involved. Well, 3-4 months down the road or a year like this guy was, I went back to a chat with this guy And I listened to some of the things that I chatted with him, and I was like, oh yeah, this guy was about this. And I immediately said, hey, how's the family? How's this? And he just was like, whoa. And all of a sudden, it's like, how did you remember that? Like, really? So that's how cool that becomes, you guys, is using that tool. Now, one last little hint, and then I promise you I'm done talking, and I'll let you guys ask questions. There is a reminder program inside of the chat. So if we go to this screen that I showed you, that I say to him, right here, hey, Susan, I'm part of the Facebook community, right? Oh, Siri just came up on my phone. I guess Siri thought I was calling him. But I say, hey, Bob, I'm part of the Facebook community, right? So I take that right there, and I'm going to send that as a messenger to them, right? And here's the thing. So once I've sent that now to them on Messenger, and they go and I tell them I'm going to add them to the group, and I'll follow up with you later. All I do is I put a reminder in Facebook Messenger for me to remind me and to remind them that I'm going to follow up with you. And it's kind of cool because it holds them accountable. Like, they told you they were going to go look at the stuff. They told you they were going to watch the video, whatever. It's a reminder. So if I send them a video through Messenger, it's the same thing. I can say, look, I'm going to follow up with you. So put a reminder in the Facebook Messenger. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So here we go. Let me get my little tool up here to be able to show it to you. Find it. Maybe. Got to move some stuff. Where the heck are you? Oh, it's probably up here on my screen. Let me get up here. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, so let me pull my phone up. I'm going to show you if I can get this to come up. Well, we don't want Apple TV. We want. I apologize, guys. I thought I had this already doing the deal, and it's not up. Let me find it real quick. You can unmute yourself if you have any questions while I'm doing this, but I'll show you how, for those that have not seen this, how to set the reminder. And where in the world did my software go for that? Oh, darn it.
You know something, Dave? This is Victoria.
Yeah.
Your tips absolutely work because I build my entire business online. And I have learned so many things from you about social media that I never knew. And all I did was try them out, and they work wonderfully well. Thank you so much.
Man, it's so good to hear, Victoria, that it's working for you. And the fact that you're doing it is another hoorah. Because in my opinion, if you're, guys, this might be new to you. This might be something that, you know, is a little uncomfortable for you. That's okay. We have to disrupt our comfortable states. And if we disrupt our comfortable state, we can now grow to the next level. And I promise you guys, I mean, there's a reason you see big top leaders nowadays saying, do you want endless leads? Do you want to be able to do this without driving in your car and spending time away from your family? And guys, I was in an adventure 5-6 years ago, and in the first 6 months, I put 47,000 miles on my Jeep, driving to Wyoming, to Idaho, to California, to all these neighboring areas, all within about 6 months, and never was home. I was on the road full time. I mean, literally was gone, and never spent much time with my family. And when I met John Melton for the first time, and Tanya Eliza, and I always knew Rob Sperry, but Rob Sperry and all these guys, I was like, I got to learn this. Like, I got to learn how I can be at my computer, more importantly, my phone, and I can make a living. And so now my pickup line with people at the gas station is when they ask me what I do, I teach people how to make money on their phone. Well, what do you mean? Well, I teach people how to use social media with your phone and actually make money. What? How do you do that? I'll add you to a group and let you see. I mean, it's literally that. I mean, it's not hard. We overcomplicate this so many times. It's ridiculous. I was just at the gas pump this morning, and I have a Hyundai or a Genesis G80, and it's a nice car. But this guy looks over at me, and he's like, "What is that?" Like, he couldn't figure out what kind of car it was. It's got the little wings on it or whatever, and he thought it was a Bentley. I was like, yeah, it's a Bentley. No, but I said, no, it's a Hyundai. And he's like, what? And so we start having a conversation, and event, it always comes up. That every time it's the form, right? It's the form, right? Family, friends, occupation, recreation, that type of thing, right? So I said, well, what do you do for a living? And he's like, oh, I work over here it's called Intel. You probably know what that is. Anyway, I work over here at Intel, and I was like, oh, awesome. And he's like, well, what do you do? Oh, well, glad you asked. So I mean, that's what this is about, is simplifying this, right? And that's out in person, but guess what? I made friends with him right there on Facebook and said, hey, let's connect. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And if they're on LinkedIn, it's, hey, let's connect. I don't care how I have to connect with them. Twitter, I don't give a rat's butt. That I just want to have that connection. And by doing that, it's been really, really powerful for me, guys. And that's how I built my entire other organization and my business, and 90% of it, I should say. So know one thing. These strategies work, and if you'll implement them and you'll follow the basics behind it, it's not hard. And if you need any help doing it as we go along, that's what I'm here for, is to make sure that we can provide you with the best training, the opportunities. And you'll see me. I'm going to bring John Mountain on here. He's going to teach you some stuff. And I'm going to bring some of these 7-figure earners in here because they're good friends of mine. And I will bring them in here to where you can feel confident, and the more we can bring these guys into the mix and teach us all how to be better, that's what it's about. So anyway, I want to open up for some questions, answer any questions for you. Feel free to pipe up, and let's do it. Hopefully I haven't covered so much crap that you just like overwhelmed and don't have any questions. So, any questions?
Dave?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm on my phone. This is Lisa Weathers, Springfield, Missouri.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, and I am very out of my zone here just talking to you right now, because I've never done it outside of family and friends. But I joined rNetwork back in May, and I feel like I've been running this race for all these months and going, and my heart's pumping. And I think I have burnt myself out, so to speak. I'm still very motivated still. I mean, rNetwork is my thing. But I've tried almost everything. Well, I say almost everything out there. I've tried a lot. I've spent a lot of money. And the first thing I did when I joined, which was wrong after I found out it was wrong after I did it, was I signed up most family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before I even knew what was going on, but I seen the vision of that card, which brought me in.
Sure.
And the people that I brought in, were, yeah, we'll see. So I feel like I brought 15 people in within my first week or two. And I've been running their rNet company also, besides my own. I guess it is my own, but I got 15 other people I have to build and look after, and they're just waiting around to see what's going to happen. And what's going to happen has to do with me and what I do. So I think that's why I've been feeling like I've been running this race, because I got all these people depending on me, and I feel like I'm getting nowhere. But with you and John Johnson, and I'm new at this internet marketing stuff. I joined back in November of 2015. So I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying. And without you and John Johnson, I wouldn't be as far as I am now. And I'm so thankful for that, because during this race, you guys have helped me along. And I feel that the finish line is going to be there for me. I'm going to reach that. And with listening to you and John Johnson, I am getting there. Every day, I am plugged into something rNetwork is doing. And I want to say thank you to you and John Johnson for everything you do. So that's kind of where I am at. And talk about out of your comfort zone. This would be it. But
Well,
I'm motivated, and I'm ready to move forward and reach that finish line.
awesome.
And with your help, I think I'm going to get there.
No. You're going to re-say that. I know I'm going to get there. There's a difference.
Yes.
And thank you for that,
Yes,
Lisa.
absolutely.
I really do appreciate it, because, you know, my passion, you guys, and the reason that I'm even doing, I mean, one of the big reasons I'm involved in rNetwork isn't just because of the excitement of everything that's going on with the company, is that these guys provided me an opportunity to provide value to others. And because I try to provide as much value as possible, that's my fire, to be honest with you. Like, I love this. This is one of my favorite things. So thank you for that. And it provides me an opportunity to grow and to learn and to get better. And so thank you for letting me do that and being part of that. So, and John Johnson is doing a killer job. And you know, he's just, in my book, he's actually an incredible leader. And I'd follow him. I'd fight with him. I'd go to war with him, because the guy is just, he's a hard worker, and he outworks me, and I'm pretty hard to outwork. So, but anyway, thank you for that. And hopefully we can teach you some more stuff. So that'll be good. I've got some really great stuff, you guys, to bring to you that we haven't even ever talked about before when it comes to social media, it comes to other things. And there's a lot of strength in social media, because, I mean, there's billions of people that are tied into it. And because of that, you literally have endless leads. You really do. We didn't talk really in depth about groups and how you can go in there. I mean, we did talk about how you can like and comment and things like that, but there's even more we can get into when it comes to groups. As far as that goes, there's advertising, which I don't really recommend, especially if you have not done it before. You need to become more of an influencer and an opportunity before you really start going into advertising on Facebook, because you can spend a lot of, if you're willing to spend, and to be honest with you, if you're about $300 a month in advertising, then you can go for it. If you're willing to lose that, because that's what it takes to be successful on Facebook marketing and advertising. So, but you can do this. Like, guys, I built a 6-figure income consistently and still coming in today, residually. And I did that 2.5 years ago. And the thing that's killer about it is, I mean, I could wake up when I want, but I choose to wake up early. So, but you know, it's kind of fun just knowing that I built that mostly. And I say my team built that, and it's not me. I mean, it was a group of us, and we all just anchored in together, and we all did this same thing we've been talking about. So that's how we built our group up over there. We have an ATM group in that company that's over 50,000 people in an ATM group. So, and I belong to another one in a whole different company that I'm not even in anymore. I got in for only just to buy a product one time, and they added me to this ATM group. And there's 150,000 people in that ATM group, and it's just buzzing. And that's why I say that when you have that social proof of other people buying product or service or succeeding or ranking up, that's why on that page of our world, it's really, really important that your posts are really clear and they're titled. If you notice, a lot of people have gone in. I so much appreciate it, because it is so exciting now to look at the posts in there, because people are titling it and putting a little paragraph and then a nice picture, and it looks so professional, and you can feel proud about that. Now you really get excited about sending your prospects there, and it's only going to get better and better and better. And so somebody had asked if we would speak about international. Are we talking about social media internationally, or are we talking about just internationals?
Well, Dave, I asked that question that you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should ask. Sorry, Victoria.
Yes, because I invited a person on this call who is living outside of the United States.
Okay.
And I just want you to elaborate about how social media, even if you're living in another country outside of the US, because this business started here, how they can use social media and speak about what they have available in their country with regard to our network.
Absolutely. Social media is everywhere around the world. And in fact, Europe or Asia or anywhere. I mean, I've got very good friends. I've got a 7-figure earner friend. I mean, very, very good friend. His name's Rudy. And he is a top earner in another company right now. And his biggest groups are in like Ireland and all that. And all of it, I mean, most of it was social media. That's the killer part. So it doesn't matter just remember something. You could have no product, literally no product, and still do what we just talked about today. Do you realize that, right? Like, you realize you could have literally no product and get people to let you add them to a group. And the group could be about selling ice cream. It wouldn't even really matter. It all comes down to, again, developing a story. Now with international right now, and we're just about here, and I don't want to get too much into the weeds about it, but we're about to launch some stuff for internationals that I think is going to be really exciting. Will be for worldwide, but and then for Canadians also that are super exciting for that one. Hey, for those guys. So as we launch that stuff, you now will have a product. But let me just tell you, do not lead with product. In anything that you're doing, don't lead with the product. You lead with the product, you're going to run into a couple of problems. Let's say that I'm in Ireland and I lead with the product. Well, I'm in trouble because all I have is travel. And don't get me wrong, travel is amazing and it's awesome and you can definitely benefit from it. But the problem that you start running into is then they go, well, so I see the messaging from the company and it's about savings and it's about this. Where's my savings other than travel? Or do you have anything other than travel? I mean, now you get in this rabbit hole. And if you don't lead with product, you lead with opportunity. Believe me, these countries, they all want opportunity. So we got to kind of back up for a minute and remember why you got involved in our network. And you can say, well, it's about the card. Well, what about the card? Well, I get paid on swipes. Oh, so you're saying financially you could use extra money? Yes. So then there's a much deeper reason as to why you got involved than just the card, you guys. Let's be honest. The end result is when that card and people are swiping it and it's all cool and fancy and fun and easy to recruit and all this other stuff. Well, get this. It's the money. The end result is the money. And if I'm getting paid, I don't care if the card's pink. I don't care if it doesn't work. It's all about the fact that somebody swiped it and I get paid on it, right? That's ultimately the goal. Right now, we have people in India making money with this because the belief and the passion is about the opportunity for their country, bringing additional income. People in South America are excited because they get to offer an opportunity to their families. I was just talking to a lady 2 or 3 days ago. Her mom's in Guatemala, and when I was telling her about it, she's like, oh my, you got to be kidding me. Like, can I get her into this opportunity? I'm like, for sure. And so that's people in those countries, these other countries, they're looking for opportunity. But I'll tell you, I know what the stigma is. Well, what's the product? Because that's the first thing they ask. Well, what's the product? Well, the product is this. It's an opportunity to become part of a network that is going to offer services and products around the world in such an exclusive discount as we grow the network. And so right now, people are making money just building the network. And we have a travel portal that's amazing. And you can save lots of money traveling, but that's not why people are doing this. People are doing this because they're establishing a ground for their business and starting to develop an income I mean, we got people in India that are going to be making some pretty serious income in such a small amount of time. And you start taking that type of excitement and you move it into South America or somewhere like that in a much lower economy, and you just change the world. So think of it from an entrepreneurial standpoint rather than so much of a product standpoint. And so remember, everything we just talked about today is all about branding you, your story, and driving people, this is what I say, lead them to the middle and allow them to make the decision. Lead them to the middle and allow them to make the decision. And if I was in France, or I was in somewhere where, there was a much higher populated area of that language particular, like we'll just say Germany, maybe it's German, and I was in rNetwork, I'd be setting up my own team page and taking stuff from Rise Up and converting it into German so that my Germans can stay excited. And as far as videos and stuff goes, we'll eventually get our videos converted to different languages, but we're just getting started. It's not I don't want to say it's not a priority, because it's a priority to get them done, but it's not a high priority right this moment to convert all of our videos to every language. That would be almost incredibly impossible. So we'll get there eventually, but right now we could use anybody's help. If you're a good writer and you're a good editor and things like that, and you live in somewhere where we want to convert something to that language, we would need to have some proofing done by somebody that understands it legal wise, this stuff like that. But we'll eventually get there. We'll get there. But you could create, if you wanted to, and I'm not suggesting this for US people or anybody that speaks English clearly, or your prospects do, you could create your own R world if you wanted to. Maybe you create a Spanish version if they were all Hispanic and don't speak any English. I mean, if that's what it was, right? So you could do that, but it won't be quite as powerful until you get a lot more people in it. Does that make sense? So you have to be a little bit careful with that and not go away from what's working. Anyway, I don't know if that answered your question. We have some really great stuff working though, guys, for as far as product related, we do. Jeff, you had a comment, I believe.
I just want to let you know I speak Canadian, eh?
Oh, so do I, eh? No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome.
The lady that was talking previously that said that she feels like she's spinning her wheels because she's doing everything for everybody. And I can resonate with that because, I've got some people in there too that it's all about bringing them to the center and getting them to participate in the videos like this so they can learn. Because that's part of you teaching them to do what you do. And instead of you doing it for them, you want them to do it for themselves. And that's what it's all about. That's about teaching them to get their 3, helping them get their people to teach them to get their 3, and so on. But I can resonate with what she was saying because I was like that too, trying to do everything for everybody. And you can't. It's about getting them to agree to listen and learn, and then repeat what you're doing. And so that kind of hit at home what she was saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're dead on. I mean, here's the bottom line is I personally prior to rNetwork, about a year ago, I hit a wall. Like I hit this wall and I couldn't figure out how to get over it or around it or what, as an entrepreneur, as a network marketer, I hit this wall and I was like, what is going on? Like nobody's signing up and I can't get anybody. And I just you guys ever felt that? Have you guys ever felt that? Like it happens to everybody. Yeah. And it's normal, but here's what you got to do. And this is what I love Rob Sperry, because he's one of my favorite trainers of all times. And it's because he says this: leaders always do the basics, and they just do the basics better. And that is the fact. And what I've learned is that the more the knowledge and all this information I gain, I start to spew it on people, right? Like if I learn about all this, this great products that we have, these services that we have, I go spew it on everybody, and then they don't want to join. But if I do it from a more authentic, curiosity type approach, it's crazy the difference. And I promise you, if you come from a curiosity approach, it will change the world for you as far as recruiting.
Yeah.
Change the world. So dead on, eh?
Yay. We'll copy that, eh?
Anybody else have any questions or comments?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I seem to be getting a lot more likes and comments when I have my on my story on Facebook. Do you treat that the same as a post in Facebook? Because I'm going back to saying thanks to all of them about it, and some do respond once in a while. But is that how you do it? Just keep plugging away like that?
Yeah, you know, that's such a great comment, Brian. And that's actually a different training, but I want to talk about that because you brought that up. Yeah, that's the future, our stories. And the reason you have to think about it being the future, and it's the same thing on Instagram. Instagram, you know, I watched my daughter the other night. It was just kind of like watching her, and she's on Instagram, and this is what she wasn't doing, right? She wasn't doing this. She was doing this. There's a difference because when you're clicking it, you're moving the stories through, right? And kids and individual, even adults, we're such at a high pace life right now. Nobody wants to read. This is exactly why in our world, we don't want these long stories about what you just saved money on. We all want to tell every, you know, nook and cranny of the situation that took place to post about it, right? And I've been guilty of that. So what you have to do is post these shorter, easy to read, impactful statements with a heading that says, I saved $5, and boom, and a picture of the place I saved $5 at, or a picture of me eating my sandwich that I saved $5 on, whatever. But stories work exactly the same way. People like it, they comment, you receive a message if they comment. That's the beauty. If not, you click on it and it takes you right to Messenger, and now you can respond. So in answer to your question, Brian, maybe the reason some people might not be responding is depending upon your posts. They might like it just because they're friends of yours and, you know, they like it, but if your post is salesy in any way, they know you're just trying to come and sell them something now, right? And I'm not saying it is. I'm just, and it may not even be that at all. But let's just go back to saying it's not any of that, and it's a really good post, and he's got a lot of likes. Well, go back and comment, or go back and like it, or go back and, click on it and go to Messenger. And don't start out with necessarily always thanking them on liking the post. Start out with, hey, what you been up to, John? Man, it's good to talk. Good to see you. And hope the family's doing well. And what I like to do is when I go to that, I go to their profile first. And this is the same way if I'm doing likes and comments on posts. Go to the profile first before I chat with them, because I want to know what they've been up to. Like if they haven't posted in, 3 months, I'm going to say, gosh, where have you been, John? That's what I haven't seen you on Facebook forever. They're just going to be like, what? How'd you know that? You know what I mean? So it's really cool that Facebook's provided this tool for us if we just learn to use it correctly. So, but I love the fact that you're doing stories because they're interactive, they're fun, they're entertaining. You can make them with emojis and all the movement stuff, the GIFs and things. It's just super cool, and it's such a great thing. So that's a whole nother training, but if you don't know how to do stories, we'll do that another day, and I'll get my software up so I can show you how to do it on your phone. But man, it's super cool, and I love stories. So a lot of times I'll take what I post on Facebook and I'll just go post it in as a story and then put a little more action to it. And create a little more something to it. And I know John Stahl, I've seen him do some posts in stories, and I love it because when I'm just on the move, like if I'm walking into lunch or something, I can be looking at stories and I can just kind of see what people are up to, right? And I'll like their thing, or sometimes I'll even comment inside of it. And there's something I didn't even talk about, you guys, and this is something you can do immediately right now to start getting ground, and that is birthdays. you should be wishing every person on Facebook that follows you happy birthday. Now, let me give you the secret to it, though. If you haven't read the training and the training modules, it is after the fact. Don't do it before and don't do it during the birthday day. Do it the next day. And let me tell you what my secret is. And I learned this actually from one of the top earners in the industry. It works. You say, happy birthday, John, and say, gosh, sorry I missed it, right? And when you do that, here's the cool part. 2 days later, John gets this message from me after his birthday. He says, oh, hey, no problem. I just appreciate you wishing me. What have you been up to? Beautiful Ann, beautiful Ann. And birthdays are one of the best. And it shows that you care, that you're alert, that you're aware. And when I've noticed like if I could have done a graph for my social media, it would go like this, maybe like this, and then like this. And it's when I miss the birthdays. If I don't do the birthday thing, there's a real positive chance that if I was to graph it out, it would go like this a little bit. Follower wise, like in excitement and things like that. Does that make sense?
You know what, Dave? I've actually done that when I heard that this is what you're doing, because here's the other thing. It actually stands out among all of the rest. It doesn't get just, buried. It stands out. But it also shows that it's sincere, right?
And I don't, you could copy and paste it, just make sure you don't send the wrong name. But, if you're going to copy and paste the last one, but make sure it's personalized, a little bit personal. And now if you notice on the birthdays too, is it allow you to do a story birthday, happy birthday. And that's kind of cool. And so you can always do that. And that's kind of a cool thing. And, another thing to think about when you're utilizing, whether it's a post or story, is to tag somebody that's in your group that maybe let's just say that you say, hey, a friend of mine just saved, was telling me, and do it like a conversation. A friend of mine just was telling me that they saved $200 on his cell phone. And I am so excited because now I'm just saving money, whatever. And then you say, thanks, John. And you tag John in it. So now John's his story is that he's actually getting tagged and other people are seeing it. And now it can help your team also get leads and start to do those things. Now, how many of you, just out of curiosity, have the Rev system? You guys have the Rev system? Some of you? Okay. If you have the Rev system, this is and by the way, he just finished our mobile video for the funnel. And he's working on each of the services not just services, but also even like our perks and our travel and all that. We're going to do all that. And each one of those will be individual funnels. So that's super cool. So what I would do is if you're following up, so you have different touches. You go back to that one screen with all the different touches. You can do calls. You could do three-way chats. You could do our world. You can send them the funnel, right? Those are all different things that you can get them engaged in. What I would do if you're using the funnel properly is I would do the follow-up after I ATM them because I want to see all this other stuff. Follow up, and then I would send them, say, hey, I've got a private link I'll send to you. Have you take a look at what I'm doing a little bit more in depth, and send them the funnel of something specific, right? So if it's our mobile, if it's our perks or whatever it is, and if it's not any of those, and you just want to send them the regular Revolution funnel, that's fine too. Doesn't matter. But you just send them the funnel because you can get them into that funnel system. That's powerful, especially if you get somebody that's really excited to do something. So we're really going to hone that funnel in much, much greater. And the reason we're going to do that is I just went through a training with a gal named Sherry Tree. And I'm actually headed to a training this weekend in Southern California, and I get to speak on social media. So I'll be speaking for about 30 minutes. But at that same training, we get to be trained by this gal, Sherry Tree. And if you know who Sherry Tree is, she actually wrote the book Bank Code. And it's these cards right here. This is your actual individual personality. and you actually stack these cards in the order of your personality, the way you are. You look at some of the keywords on it, like this one's values, learning, intelligence, I'm logical, mastery, technology, and you kind of stack them, right? Well, once you do that and you learn the code, and I can't wait to start rolling out some of these trainings with you guys, because once you learn your individual prospect's code, and they just released a technology, it's an artificial intelligence that I can send a link to my prospect and have them take this code test. And it tells me how to sell them. So, and she says that if you follow this system, and I don't know it well enough yet to tell you how to maximize, but she literally, before the artificial intelligence, would hand these to her prospect in real estate and have them stack them. So she says, so I can serve you better. And then she would now know their code. And it's science. It's not like something made up. This is science. And if you learn this, and I know John knows what I'm talking about because he's done the NPL and all that stuff. Or is that what it is? And I've done it too, but I can't remember what it is. But
Yeah, it's NLP, neuro-linguistic programming.
yeah, that's what it is. So I did that training also. But this right here, you guys, is science. And so if you want to get her book, I don't make money on it. You just go to her website, and it's the bank code. If you just type it in Google, you'll find it. And go there and buy her book. It's a little expensive because it's about this thick, but let me tell you something. The book is freaking amazing, and it's got every one of these different colors in there and what they represent and how you can sell that. But here's the best part. And this is what I'm super excited about, and she's hopefully training on this weekend about it, is how to take some of these key words and put them in your posts. So you now start to sell to all colors out there on Facebook without them knowing you're selling. So if you think about a post and you start talking about how spontaneous you are, you're talking to an action person. If you talk about something like stability, you're talking to a blue person. If you're talking about relationships, you're talking about this person. I'm colorblind. What color is this? Yeah, whatever color that is. Yellow. Yellow, that's what color it is.
There you go. Gold.
And I truly am colorblind. I know you guys don't believe it, but that's why you always see me in black shirts, because it's just easier for me. So I'm kidding. I do have my shirts hung in specific order so that I can actually know what color I'm wearing. So, all right. So value, and the other one, green, right? So this is green. So if I'm talking about something that's universal truth, then it's penetrating that person. And so I'm gonna learn this weekend, hopefully, how to post and utilize this in the effective ways. And she travels all over the world. She's spoke in India just not recently. She's done, I mean, it's amazing. Go watch some of her videos. It's incredible. But Sherry is actually a good friend, and I've been able to meet her several times now, and it's been pretty cool. So anyway.
We expect a full report, Dave.
What's that?
We expect a full report.
I will do my very best to take good notes and figure out. I'm not even excited about speaking. I'm actually excited about just being there with her and learning her code, man. I want to learn this, because can you imagine, just like, guys, like, seriously, like, you meet somebody on Facebook and you're able to actually speak their language? I mean, how cool would that be? This is their personality language that allows them to make a buying decision. And if we can actually help our prospects make that decision by using the words that are necessary, it's endless, baby. She said she had 100% close for, I don't remember how many transactions, but it was a lot in her real estate business once she figured out how this worked. So 100%, like, done. So anyway, I got sidetracked. Sorry about that. Anyway, guys, thank you for getting on. Oh, did I miss anybody? Private message the birthdays, right? Yeah, private message the birthdays. In fact, on Facebook, on your, you'll get notified when there's birthdays in your notifications. You just click on it, go in there, and you'll see everybody's birthdays, and then you can wish them happy birthday. So, has the name Our World changed? Yeah, we changed it just to simplify it, make it easier for you guys. So we changed the world. It's still our world, but it was, what did I change it?
I think it's our network dash our world, right?
It is our network, just our network world is what it
Okay.
is.
Our network world.
Yeah. I mean, that's, again, even if you saved it as a group, it'll still be there. It just changes the name for public reasons. But I did it because then when people search our network, they see two. They should only really see two for the most part. We're trying to eliminate anything else, but it's slowly happening. But yeah, that's what it is. So our world, it's our network, our world, or our network world, not our world. I'm trying to get away from the R this, R that. It's just too many R's going on. Okay, love short. Okay, cool. You guys, thank you for tuning in and taking the time today. It was super cool to spend some time with you guys. And we will do my next portion of the training. Because I'm leaving tomorrow out of town, I won't be able to do it this week. It'll be next week after we launch. And so we'll do it again next week. And I'll probably try to schedule a little bit later in the afternoon when more people can get on. I did record this, so I will put this up onto Rise Up and put it inside the training area. By the way, I've been working really hard lately for the last couple weeks, and we have been putting together some incredible training modules and a PDF that you'll be able to roll out to your team as they come on board. And it's very, very take action type training. And it's all stuff that I've been working on with Rob Sperry and several others, and so I'm not taking credit for the information in it. It's all stuff that I've used, but it's also stuff that I've learned from them. And I will be rolling that out to you sometime probably next week. I'm having it proofed right now as far as reading and spelling, all that kind of stuff. And then of course I've got our two trainers going through it. They're going to go through it, and we'll be adding, whatever and taking away whatever. So I feel like this one's a lot more defined. So we will be deleting all of the training stuff that's in there, because this is going to have scripts and other things too that are more stuff that I've actually personally done, and it's worked. And so it's not just scripts that I've thrown up there that I don't know if they worked or didn't work. So I'm going to be putting all that stuff up there for you. And I'm going to gain other scripts from other people that are having success, like John and Ed and well, all of you. And so I'll be reaching out to you guys personally, asking for your best script. What's your best opening script, or how you've called somebody, how you text somebody, whatever, right? So if you've got great ones that are working for you, if you got a hook, some sort of hook text, please share it, and I will make sure it gets put inside of our trainings. And I've also updated the rNetwork.live site with the training modules, but I'm not launching them yet until everything's perfectly ready to go. So that will mirror the Facebook page. So you'll have it for people that are not on Facebook, have access to the same training, along with a download PDF that goes with it. So, okay.
Hey, quick note, Dave, so you don't have to call me, but hey, going into the back office as far as on the rNetwork.live,
yeah,
it doesn't show a call scheduled for tonight for some reason. It shows tomorrow, but it doesn't. For some reason, it didn't show tonight. Huh?
Are you talking about Zoom?
Yes.
On Zoom. So I'll check it, but it should be up there. I looked at it earlier because I redid the link. So you guys should have a brand new link now. And
Perfect.
I put it out like 20 weeks, so we should have plenty of time now, and then we can extend it.
Hey, what happened with the, just for my information, did the recording from last night's call just basically just disappear?
Yeah, it had your time and everything, but it had zero recording because there was nothing left on the cloud for it to record.
Oh.
And so that's why. And it was exactly what I thought it was. And so I deleted every recording that we have in there. And now we're going to start fresh.
So it didn't go into an archive or anything like that then?
It did, but it didn't have any recordings inside of it.
Yes, okay. It didn't have the link.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
gotcha. All right.
Unfortunately, I know kind of sad it didn't happen. So,
Hey, that's all right. We had fun last night. It was good.
all right, guys, thank you for
Thanks.
tuning in. I got to run to a meeting, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
guys. Thank
Take
you
care.
so much.
Thanks, Dave.
Appreciate you.